so to start the legs, I want to make them kind of look like pencils. So I need to get a six-sided hexagon out of this 4x4. First I'll cut it to length and then we'll go to the table saw and chop it up. But ultimately this is what I want. 4 of these at 14 inches. So it took me multiple passes on the table saw to figure this out, but basically once I had the fence set to the right width and a 30-degree bevel on the blade, these weren't too hard to make. Now I'm going to turn them so the flat side is against the fence, and I just want to cut off this corner to look kind of like that. So I got a couple pieces here at roughly 11. I'll cut them down to 10 once I put an angle on them. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these in half. I'm taking 2 of the 10-inch pieces and gluing them together for the top of the legs. And those will kind of work like that, right at the top of the leg. I'll measure up 3 inches from the bottom. Not quite enough room to get the drill in here. Okay, well there's one side. This is just a shot of the assembly. Once I turn this over, I proceed with pocket holes to join these together. I end up using a lot of pocket holes in this project, and I did fill every one of them with a plug. This part here on the bandsaw was a little tricky. I cut them all at the same time. It ended up working out really well. Here the length is 6 foot. I end up cutting these down to about 4.5. All of the paint that I used was Rust-Olem spray paint in a gloss color. This actually goes like this. I just cut it, ran this along it, put the tape on roughly where the black line is, and then I'm just going to go this route. At least for these, I may do the center differently. So for this stencil, I made a printout with the font that I wanted. I applied double-sided tape. I cut everything out with a razor by hand. This process took a long time, so I only ended up labeling 1 crayon. Here I am just applying a little bit of paint into the holes from the brads. I used Gorilla Glue to glue all these crayons down, and I didn't want screws, so I used a construction adhesive, and it also fills gaps, which is why I'm doing this. I didn't put that many brad nails into these. There's 3 on the orange one, and then 4 on each of the top ones. So I'm pretty much utilizing the adhesive to hold this on. Here on the finish, I'm using a water-based polycrylic in Clear Satin by MINWAX. It ended up looking really good. I did about 4 coats. In this process, Shogun-Jimi was commenting on my last video, and I was responding while I was putting this on. He's got some good ideas. He kind of thought maybe this would look like a coffee table, and it kind of makes me think, well, That's not a bad idea. He's also the one that gave me the idea for this. He sent me a picture of a chair that was made from crayons, and I utilized that concept. So big shout out to him. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. As always, thanks for watching.